Hello and welcome to Back to the Science. I'm Dr. Susan Oliver and I'm a scientist, and this is Cindy Oliver, and she's a dog. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you would know that I have recently had cataract surgery. Now, in addition to being able to generally see better after the surgery, something else that I noticed was that colours were so much brighter, and in particular, blues look so much better. They went from looking bit murky to looking, well, blue. Now, I thought being able to see blues clearly was rather wonderful. But according to a lot of people marketing blue light filter glasses, blue is evil and you should be avoiding it at all costs, which is a bit of a worry if you watch my videos because they often contain quite a bit of blue. So in this video, we'll go back to the science and have a look at the claims being made by marketers of blue light filter glasses and whether they are supported by science. Now, the first thing to note with blue light filter glasses is that there are different options available. You can get glasses with clear lenses that filter out a small amount of blue light, or coloured lenses that filter out a lot more. And the amber lenses will filter more blue light than the yellow lenses, and the red-orange lenses will filter out green light as well as blue. And it's generally recommended that you wear these glasses indoors, particularly when you are looking at screens. So what are the claims being made about these glasses? Well, there are three main claims. Firstly, it is claimed that they protect your eyes from damage from blue light coming from screens and indoor lighting. Secondly, it is claimed that they reduce eye strain from using computers. And thirdly, if you wear them at night, it is claimed that they help you sleep better. So let's look at the first claim, that they protect your eyes from damage from blue light coming from screens and indoor lighting. Well, for this to be true, first this light would have to be causing damage in the first place. This was assessed in this paper here, where they compared light emitted by various sources with international exposure limits and the exposure likely to be received from staring at a blue sky. They looked at LED and compact fluorescent lights, computer monitors, laptop screens, computer tablets, and smartphones. And they found that none of the sources assessed approached the exposure limits, even for extended viewing times. And also the exposure was less than what you would get from natural sources. So the claim that blue light filter glasses protect your eyes from damage by devices is definitely not correct. But what about the other claims? These questions were recently assessed in our Cochrane review, and Cochrane is considered to be the gold standard when it comes to systematic reviews. But a systematic review can only be as good as the studies that are available. So if the quality of the studies is low, the review can't draw any firm conclusions. And unfortunately, that is the case with this review. This figure here shows a risk of bias assessment that was done on the 17 studies that met the inclusion criteria. The risk of bias was assessed across a number of different criteria. Green means low risk of bias, yellow means the risk of bias is unclear from the information provided, and red means there is a high risk of bias. As you can see, only 3 of the 17 studies didn't have at least one parameter with a high risk of bias, and no study had a low risk of bias for every parameter. Now, normally in a systematic review, the various studies will be combined in a meta-analysis, which shows the average finding from the studies for a particular outcome. But this couldn't be done in this case because a lot of the studies did not have quantitative data that could be combined in a meta-analysis. And there was also disparity between the studies that meant it wasn't suitable to combine them. But they were able to provide a narrative summary of what they found for a number of key outcomes. And this table here summarises what they found for the effect of blue light filtering glasses on visual fatigue or eye strain. And And what they found was that wearing blue light filtering glasses had no effect on visual fatigue. But there are a few important things to note. Firstly, the certainty of the evidence has been assessed as low. And what that means is further research is very likely to have an important impact on their confidence in the estimate of effect and is likely to change the estimate. However, they didn't actually find an effect, so a change in the effect size and confidence interval wouldn't necessarily change that finding. The other important thing to note is that the effect size is being completely driven by one study, which is this study here. And the reason for this is the only study that actually had quantitative data that was suitable for calculating an effect size. However, it is a fairly good quality study that was assessed as having a low risk of bias across 6 of the 7 parameters and also a reasonably large sample size. So the fact that this study didn't show any effect of the blue light filter like glasses on fatigue is good evidence that the glasses that they tested in this study probably don't work. The glasses they tested in this study, though, were the clear glasses that only filter a certain amount of blue light. So based on this study, we still can't definitively say that if you use the amber glasses that completely block blue light, that wouldn't have an effect. That being said, as I previously mentioned, the amount of blue light that you are exposed to from a computer screen is less than what you would be exposed to from being outside in natural light. And that normally isn't associated with eye strain or fatigue. So it doesn't make a lot of sense that completely blocking blue light from computer screens would help prevent eye fatigue. We also know that there are other things related to screen use that are expected to cause eye strain and fatigue. For instance, we know that when you are using a computer screen, you blink considerably less than when you are having a conversation with someone or going for a walk. And this reduction in blinking can lead to dry eyes, which then causes eye strain. Although it is important to recognise that this reduction in blinking isn't unique to screen use. It can also happen when you are reading printed items like a book or the newspaper. There are things you can do, however, if you are getting dry eyes from this. Firstly, you can regularly look away from the screen, and they say you should follow the 20-20-20 rule, which is every 20 minutes you should look away for 20 seconds at an object that is at a distance of about 20 feet. And 20 feet is about 6 metres for those of you who are more familiar with the metric system of measurement. If this doesn't work, you can also use dry eye drops, specially designed to treat dry eyes. And this is an example of a product that you can buy in Australia, but there are heaps of other products out there too. A lot of them come in individual sachets, which means they stay sterile until you need to use them without needing preservatives, which is good because preservatives can sometimes cause irritation to the eyes. And another possible cause of eye strain or fatigue is that you actually need glasses, or you could even have cataracts like I did. So if you haven't seen an optometrist or optician recently, it's probably a good idea to get your eyes checked. So the other claim being made about blue light filter glasses is that using them at night will help you sleep. And there is some science that suggests this is possible. We know, for instance, that exposure to blue light will reduce your production of melatonin, which is a hormone that, amongst other things, helps you sleep. And this is one of many studies that has looked at this. In this study, they exposed people to different levels of blue light between the hours of 2 and 3:30 a.m., which is a type of thing that would probably be considered torture if it wasn't part of a study. Anyway, what they found was that as the amount of blue light exposure increased, the production of melatonin decreased. We also know from other studies like this one that being exposed to room lights prior to bed suppresses melatonin production. And this study here showed that if you wore amber glasses to block blue light, you would produce significantly more melatonin after 2 hours tablet screen use than if you didn't wear the glasses. But there was no significant difference after 1 hour screen use, and also the screen was set at maximum brightness. So if you'd actually had the screen at a lower brightness, there may not have been any significant difference. We don't know because they didn't look at that. So there is some biological plausibility to the glasses helping you sleep better if you wear them after dark. But biological plausibility doesn't necessarily mean that they will work. For that, we need to test them in randomized controlled trials. And the Cochrane review team found 6 randomized controlled trials that looked at this. 3 of them reported a significant improvement in sleep scores with blue light filtering lenses compared with non-light blue light filtering lenses. But the other 3 reported no significant differences in sleep scores. And they rated the certainty of this evidence as very low, which means they are uncertain about what they found. And the reasons for the uncertainty included the fact that all the studies were quite small, and also a number of them were in people with specific health conditions. So they are not necessarily relevant to other populations. So it's possible that blue light filter glasses are beneficial in helping people get a better night's sleep if worn at night. But at present, there is no good quality evidence to confirm this. Maybe they work and maybe they don't. It's also worth mentioning that there are other ways of reducing your exposure to blue light other than wearing blue light filter glasses. For instance, if your exposure to blue light is coming mainly from room lights, you can always just switch them off and instead put on a dim table light or something. And you'll also save a bit of money on electricity bills. If your blue light exposure is coming mainly from looking at screens, you can adjust the settings so that you are exposed to less blue light from the screens after dark. And this will make the colours of your screen look something like this. And I'll provide some links in the video's description explaining how to do this just in case you don't know. And in addition to reducing the blue specifically, you can also just turn down the brightness of the screen overall. Also, a number of websites and apps have dark mode, which also reduces your exposure to blue light. This is what my YouTube channel looks like in dark mode. Not sure how well you're going to be able to see that, but you can always just have a look at it yourself. And just while we're talking about sleeping, I thought I'd give a quick plug to a video I made ages ago about the importance of sleep for a well-functioning immune system. It's actually one of the most unpopular videos I've ever made. And I suspect this video may also be unpopular, but that's okay because I didn't start my channel to be popular. If I wanted to do that, I would just make videos suggesting conspiracies. So in summary, blue light filtering glasses probably aren't going to help reduce eye strain and fatigue, but it's possible that they could help you sleep better if you wear them at night. However, at the moment, there is no good quality evidence to support this. If you'd like to look further into the data I've presented, I provided links in the video's description. And please remember, this video is about the science, but you shouldn't take it as medical advice. For that, you should speak to your medical practitioner. If you've got this far, thank you for listening. And if you've liked, shared, or commented on the video, double thank you, because that helps the algorithm and means that more people will see the video. And of course, thank you to everyone who has bought me a coffee, or little Cindy who has done a runner, a treat. We really appreciate your support. We will be continuing to make videos about the science in the future. So if you'd like to see them, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.